Hey everybody, how y'all doing? Happy Tuesday. What up, what up, what up? All right. We're gonna get this going. My name is 12 Gauge. If you've never been here before, welcome. I hope that you find something in here that you enjoy, that you come back to keep seeing, that you come back to keep understanding, because I have lots of stuff here. I have video concerts, um, I have true crime, I have substance abuse information. I have life skills information. And I have a little bit of everything. So if this is your first time here, I hope that you enjoy what it is that I present. Also, want to let you know that if you like it, hit the like button. Interact with me on my community tabs. On this podcast, I'm free to talk about just about anything that I want to talk about because it's a break from the true crime community that I spent a lot of time in. Tonight I want to talk about the formulation of what makes a good person. Because we all have a definition that says, I'm a good person because of this, I'm a good person because of that. But what really makes a good person? You know, um, for the longest time, that word good has gotten people through. Well, he's a good guy, he's a good person. It was a co signing way for you to be able to not have to put money down on a vehicle or to be taken at your word that you would do what you say that you're going to do. But as the times went on, people's word, for whatever reason, have diminished that ability to back up what they say they're going to do. And that is sad. That is sad because you want to trust people. You want to trust them to do what they say they're going to do. Now, you tell me, hey, 12 gauge, I'll be at your house at a quarter till 9. And you show up at 9:15. Most people think that if I give you an example of what happened, then that's going to excuse me being late. Well, of course, you've learned throughout the years that there's certain things that you can do to keep people from losing trust in you, not believing you. One of those things is simple. Just call them. Let them know, hey, something came up. I'm running late. I overslept. This, that, and the other. Another thing is to not overstack yourself with so much going on that you that you overextend yourself. Because we all want to be trusted. We want we all want people to believe in us. We want to have them understand that we're trustworthy. So that maybe that whatever it is that's going on that you're in need of, that they can trust you with it, that you're going to bring it back, that you're not going to bring it back all damaged or, having to have to fix it because you were careless with the trust. But as I'm saying, we can't change other people. We can only change ourselves. And sometimes we got to set boundaries with unhealthy people. Today I was talking with this female that, I believed that we were having a relationship with. That I was her boyfriend, she was my girlfriend. We even discussed that. We spent a weekend together. I've known her since probably 2017. Off and on, we've She's either had somebody, I've had somebody. We've never really been able to make it work. Okay. Well, this was the first time in a long time I hadn't seen her, so we decided to meet up. I stayed in a haunted hotel and I met up. She met up there. We went, had dinner, we took pictures, we played pool, we enjoyed each other's company. The next day, we went to church together. We were getting along. We were building on something. Well, before I left, because it was quite a drive back, I went ahead and confirmed that we were a couple, and she stated yes. Well, before I left, I wasn't going to see her that following week, so it was Valentine's Day. So I went ahead and got her a gift. She got me a gift, and we exchanged those gifts, and I came back home. We made plans to go to Austin the week after I was on call. So I came home. We talked a little bit more, and probably about the middle of the week, toward the end of the week of me being on call, she ghosted me. I'm reaching out to her, nothing. Texting her on Facebook, nothing. So I talked to her last night, and I talked to her today, and she acted like she was she was not definitive on whether we were a couple or not, and that I didn't make my expectations known, which was not true. I made my expectations known. She discussed that we were together, and now obviously she's moved on to somebody else, some other situation. And like I told her, I said, it's going to take a while for me to trust you again, if ever. And if you have any situation going on where you need a friend or some help or whatever, don't contact me. And she got mad because she put it all on me like it was my fault. Well, I didn't feel bad about it because you know what? I know what type of person I am. I know what kind of heart beats in my chest. And I know definitely how far I'll go for somebody who I care about. So, a lot of times these individuals, they take advantage of your kindness because if someone's kind, they must be weak, which is not always true. Some people take kindness for weakness, and it's a terrible outcome when you do that. Because at the end, you lose a very good person in your life because you just took them for granted. And for whatever reason, broken females always end up back with their exes who aren't about anything. And somebody made a comment the other day that, something about not all people are bad people or this, that, and the other. You're right. You're right. Not all people are bad people. But if each time we get together, I save you, you play the victim, and then the next time, within a couple of months, we start fighting and you leave and you bounce around, whatever. And then you come back and then this happens again and this happens again. Well, now it's become a pattern. And that pattern, for whatever reason, becomes your reality. And if it becomes your reality, that means that you're more prone to do it, even if you don't want to. It means that you will hurt good people and levitate back to the unhealthy. And I want you to hear that. I want you to hear that because I'm not just talking about my situation because I'm playing the victim, because don't get it twisted. I'm not a victim of anything. I reached out there, I tried to make something work, so therefore it didn't work. Time to move on. Time to go do something else. You know, when I was younger, I would play the victim. I'd say, poor me, woe is me. Why can't it ever be me? But now it's none of that. Now it's just about, okay, what part did I play in it? What part can I make a change in it next time? And try not to make the same mistake with this person again. But because people show you who they are. And oftentimes we forget because we're trapped in infatuation, lust, or something of that nature. And we allow ourselves to not see reality for what it's worth. You know, to be honest, and I'm going to be honest with you guys, and that's what this podcast is for. Not everybody has to watch it. Not everybody has to understand it, but it's kind of like a video journal. What I'm doing here is just letting my feelings and emotions and thoughts and everything out. And sometimes they're not going to make sense. Sometimes it's going to sound jumbled. Sometimes it's going to sound rambling. But hopefully, it never sounds victimizing or woe is me. But what I'm saying is this you know, I've learned that through the pain that I've caused others and the pain that I've ended up enduring because of others, there comes a time where you have to understand, hey, I got to take care of myself. I can't put my happiness on another person. I can't put my success or failures on another person or a job. I can't act like the world isn't for me because I fail more than I succeed. For the longest time, I had very low self esteem. I had a lot of depression and I had a lot of anxiety after I got sober. Whether I had it before, who knows? But God knows I've had it afterwards. And the fact that I've had a lot of damage to this eye, as you notice, it kind of goes in for whatever reason. I don't know if it's gotten weaker over the years or whatever, but it messes with me, especially on lives, because as I'm looking straight ahead, this eye is still kind of looking to the side a little bit and it bothers me. But I hope that you understand that the message is more important than the visual that's presenting it. Because I'm trying to give a message to maybe give somebody some hope that is dealing with certain things like this because people are quick to off themselves whenever life isn't treating them fairly, when they've reached the end of their rope, whenever they're hurting, and it seems like nobody understands. It seems like nobody cares. Well, if you feel that way, I care. I've been there. And you know what? Hang on. Hang on. Because it'll end soon. It will change soon. You don't have to do anything drastic. You don't have to hurt yourself to prove a point. If somebody hurt you, understand it doesn't feel well. Understand that it takes a while for that stinging to stop, for your heart to start to beat normal again. And if you can't shake it on your own, go find some professional help that can help you adjust through the tough times. Because tough times don't last, tough people do. Did you hear that? Tough times don't last, tough people do. And I believe that if you're going through something, it's better to not expose it for the world, especially on these videos on social media, because when you start to feel better about yourself, you're going to look back and you're going to be like, man, why did I do that? Why did I tell everybody my problems? See, I just chose to tell you a little bit of my story because I'm not going to regret it. I've gone through enough that I know that this is not the worst that's ever happened to me or will be the worst that ever happens to me. Did I care about this female? Yes, I did. Did I hope that we would be building on a future? Yes, I did. I've hoped that since I met this person. But she has more problems than she has solutions, which ultimately cause problems in both of our lives when we're together. And I know that, but still I forget it whenever we align together because of the fact that I want to be with her. So I've moved on, you know. We're in March. It's a month later. If you would have asked me probably a month ago, you probably would have seen the heartache. You probably would have noticed the pain. But today, it's not there. Moving on. You know, I want you to know that even though the world seems really cold right now, even though it seems really dismal for a lot of people, prices are high, morale is low. It seems like people align themselves with I'm a Democrat, I'm a Republican, and if you're not one of those, then you're the enemy. Um, there's times in your life where it's always a good thing to do an evaluation or an inventory of your life to see where you're at, where you've been, and where you're going. Look at it in a objective way so that you don't sit there and beat yourself up about it. You can ask yourself, what have I done for my life today? And I'm not talking about money. I'm talking about self care. I'm talking about um, making sure that you get what you need first rather than trying to keep up with other people. Because there's a lot of individuals that are parents and they neglect their children based on the monetary gain that they do. They support these children financially. They make sure they have the latest stuff. They make sure they have the latest clothing, the shoes, all this stuff. But emotionally, they fail them because they're not there. There's an absent household where these kids have to learn from their older siblings about life, about struggle, about dumb choices and consequences. And by the time they sit in front of me, they've been doing this for so long it's hard for them to change because they don't believe in it. They don't believe in what I'm saying. They don't believe in the ability to understand that there's more for them. Hell, even adults are this way. I've sat across the desk to adults and I've taught them coping skills and cognitive restructuring and all this stuff. And what do? They leave the building and give them 8, 10 hours. They're on the jail roster because they're drinking and driving. They have some dope on them. They're hanging out with whoever they shouldn't be hanging out with. And here we go again. Time to talk to the parole officer. Time to talk to this person. Time to talk to that person. And in reality, they'll tell you, yes, I knew what I was doing. I didn't need to do it, blah, 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 blah. But they still went and did it. And you got to ask yourself, what causes somebody to have to self destruct every time? They start to get something good, they self sabotage and self destruct. You know, I've shared stories about my past because it hasn't been a pretty past. But I'd get to a point where things would start going good, or I'd start getting what I thought that I wanted or needed. Then I'd take two grenades, throw them behind me, and just blow it all up. It isn't because I didn't want it, I didn't know how to keep it. So it was easier to blow it up and start over than to do something about going forward. Because I'd reached this level of building up steam, and I'd reach a point where it'd become hard or I didn't understand it. I just blow it all up. I did that for a lot of years. A lot of years. I didn't have my parents for a long time. I have them in my life now. We have a good relationship. They're a good support system. But for a long time, when I needed them, I didn't have them. So I made a lot of dumb decisions, a lot of dumb, impulsive decisions. You know, life goes so fast, and they tell you that when you're young. They say, hey, don't waste this. You're going to look back on this time and you're going to be like, damn, where'd it go? How'd it go so fast? You wake up and you're like, wow, I'm middle aged. Now what? Now what? I'm telling you, if you're watching this and you have any kind of struggle or any kind of situation that you're celebrating, which is a happy thing, enjoy the moment. Take the photographs. Eat the cake. Spend the money, if only just for the moment. And then get back on your grind and get back on your hustle and go at it even harder if that's who you are. If your success is just getting out of bed and doing what you need to do to get through the day, hey, you're a success. Quit comparing yourself to other people and quit using your ailments as an excuse to keep you down. You got this. You can do this. Is it going to be easy? Probably not. Is it going to be quick? Probably not. Don't give up. Keep going forward. As Nike has lived with their slogan for many decades, just do it. Even if you don't know how, fake it till you make it. Create a living that you can be proud of, that you don't have to reconspire every time you mess it up. Because you will stop with the self sabotage. You will stop with blowing up your life and starting all over once you realize how to maintain it. Keep healthy people around you. You want to know where you'll be in 5 years? Tell me who you hang around and I'll tell you. A lot of times people say, hang with successful people, you'll be a successful person. That is true. That is true. Most of us, we want to help the afflicted. Most of us want to help the people that don't have a lot. We want to make ourselves feel wanted and needed. But these people ain't ever going to be able to give you anything back. So it's like a one-sided road. You're only going to give and never receive. Which that's fine because a lot of us just want to give. But you know what? After a while, you need some of that reciprocation coming back. You need it. Because otherwise you're just playing one side. And eventually that side gets old. You see all those shoes back there? I don't know if you've noticed them in any of the other streams, Nobody has mentioned anything about them, but there's a lot of shoes back there. I had this job before this one that I made a substantial amount of money at. So when I would go browsing or to the shoe stores, I'd always buy in twos. So that's how they accumulated so fast because I bought in twos. And it's hard now not to buy in twos because I'm so used to buying in twos that I've had to cut back and only buy one. I haven't bought a pair of shoes in a while because I have all those shoes. I really don't need a pair, you know? I have to tell myself, hey, you don't need a pair. You're good. Because I'm going to school. I'm inquiring, financial debt. Not that much, but I'm trying to pay off more than I acquire. So whatever it is that is your thing, if you're working hard and you want to go buy yourself a pair of shoes, hey, go buy yourself a pair of shoes. If you're working hard and you want to buy yourself a special steak or whatever, go do it. Don't just work for the bills. Pay yourself first, even if it's 10%, because you have to feel like you're advancing, that you're not just getting up to go to work to pay bills. That'll burn you out quick. That'll get you to want to quit and give up. You know? Take a drive. Go for a walk. Pet the dog. Go for a swim. Go for a hike. Reconnect with a loved one who you haven't talked to in a while. Do all these things because you know what? Life is short and you never know when you're going to get that phone call that your loved one is gone and you can't ever do anything to bring them back. Don't live in regret. Live in acceptance. Life is what it is. It doesn't always have to be bad. It doesn't always have to be about drama. And it doesn't have to be about this YouTube world. I'm thankful that there's enough of you that enjoy what I do to keep doing it. I started with 10 people. It's grown. I'm appreciative. Do I get a lot of comments? No. Do I get a lot of people in the chats? No. But I'm appreciative of the chats and comments that I do get. Because you don't have to watch this. You don't have to stay as long as you stay. I'm going to try to make some of those lives a little shorter so that you can watch all the way through, because I understand 3 hours and 4 hours and 2 hours a long time. I enjoy doing this for you guys, not because I have to, not because I'm using you as a sounding board. Because you know what? I'm sharing some very important things in my life and I'm being very vulnerable to a bunch of strangers who could just rip me apart. But at this point, I don't think you can say anything that I already haven't said to myself 100 times fold and more viciously than you could ever say it. You want to make fun of my forehead because it has a big cut in it? Go ahead. You want to make fun of my hairline? Go ahead. You want to make fun of my beard? Go ahead. My eyebrows? My crooked teeth? My big ears? Whatever it is you want to make fun of, go ahead. Only children do that. Only children do that. Juveniles. If the only way that you can get at somebody is to demean them by looking at their physical traits, then you don't have the means to be an intellect. You don't have the means to be intellectually showing them their wrongs because you have to pick out their physical traits to show the world, hey, I made fun of him by this. I made fun of him by that. I don't get on here for the fear of judgment, because I judge myself harshly than you could ever judge me on a daily. And I surely don't get on here for acceptance, because I accept myself on a daily. I get on here because I want to tell you my story. To hope that maybe if somebody's going through the same stuff, they can hear my stuff and say, hey, that dude had it pretty rough too, and he's doing pretty well. Then I can too. We have a lot of terrible things that we hear every day. It doesn't have to be our reality. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Tomorrow will be a podcast. Thursday might be a live, and Friday might be a live. I don't know. I haven't made up my mind yet. I'm probably not going to do a live until I have some other material. But to be honest with you guys, I'm tired of the Idaho 4 case for now. Because there's really not a lot more digging that I can do to actually do some intellectual research on that hasn't already been talked about. I don't want to rehash anything. I don't want to feel like I'm copying somebody's stuff that they did 8, 9 months ago. So I might not be doing a lot of Idaho stuff for a while. I'll probably just be doing podcasts on crazy stuff. And if Jeff and I can ever get our schedules together, hopefully we'll have a lot more podcasts that are not 3 hours long. Hopefully they're just an hour or 30 minutes. But once again, I want to thank you guys. I want to thank you so much for your kindness, for your comments, for your interaction on my community page, and for just showing up and letting me know that you do watch this stuff. Whether you agree with it, whether you don't, ultimately I want you to know that it really doesn't matter. But your feelings and your thoughts are valid. So therefore it does matter on your end. Stick to your beliefs. You don't have to convince me that you're right and I'm wrong, or vice versa. I would never do that to you, or at least intend not to on purpose. If you understand and you've watched enough videos, you know that I have a dry sense of humor. And sometimes I come across very serious and very direct. Doesn't mean that I'm being an ass. It just means that that's just how I interact with people. So I hope you keep coming back. And I hope that you enjoy what I put out. Until next time, keep on keeping on.